Yo, yo, yo. What's up, good people? The midday motivation for you. Excuse me. Steve, what's going on, my man? My boy Robert Kiyosaki was so right when he said savers are losers, man. Yeah, so what's going on? Donna, hey, how's it going, Bonaparte? See you in a couple weeks. Joe Martin, what's going on, my friend Natasha? Guys, go ahead and hit the share button for me, please. Trying to make sure that YouTube is up and running as well. All right, so I got my monitor. It's all good, man. Little midday motivation, man. Savers or losers, man. You guys remember reading that in Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad? Anybody know what I'm talking about when I say savers or losers? Savers or losers? Let me explain. What's up, Robert? What's up, Double A? Savers or losers? Let me share this over real quick uh, so I can get this shared myself. And I'll explain what I mean, man. It's hard for a lot of people to hear because basically all our lives we've been taught to save money, right? So it's hard to imagine that somebody done told us wrong. Sweet L, what's up, bro? Gotta come mess with your partner, man, every now and again, man. You gotta come see your nephews play too, man. Jihad is getting it in. I think he averaging right at almost 18 a game or something like that. All right, so let me find my share. Where's my share button? All right, there it is. All right, if you're checking us on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you have not already subscribed to the channel. Please do so. I would appreciate that. Um, I just can't get this thing shared for whatever reason. It's just messing with me. Lawrence, what's going on? All right, let me copy this. Uh, all right, True, appreciate it. Just want to let the stream build up, and then we're gonna rock and roll here in a second, man. I'll tell you exactly what I mean by savers is losers. Savers are losers, brother. All right, there we go. I'm gonna get that shared too. Bang. All right. Cool. So what does it mean? What did Robert Kiyosaki mean when he said savers are losers, right? I use this example all the time because as a former wordsmith in the world of hip hop, uh, in the world of hip hop, that's what's called a double entendre, right? The wordsmiths, they can put words together, and it means it has in both contexts what I'm saying could be true, right? In both contexts, what I'm saying can very well be true. So I'm saying savers are losers, meaning they are people who lose money, right? Now, I could also be saying that savers are suckers or they're losers, they're low life, right? That could very well mean that too, right? So a little word play definition there, the double entendre, man. Is so when he said savers are losers, he knew it was going to tick some people off because people would instantly think in the negative that he's calling them a loser. But what he's saying is if you are saving money in a bank account, you are a loser in the sense that you're losing money because of inflation, right? You are losing money because of inflation. See, we ain't in our grandparents' economy. See, back in the day, our great grandparents, our grandparents, they could put money in a bank. That money would grow at 5, 6%. And I'm talking about in a regular savings account. I'm not talking about any investments, anything like that. There was a time where banks in this country, you would put your money in the bank in regular savings accounts, and they would give you 3, 4, 5% interest. That case, government was a lot smaller. Inflation was a lot lower, so your money could grow faster than the rate of inflation. So my grandmother, my great grandmother, my grandfather, my great grandfather, when they were taught to save money, it was good advice. At that time, at that point in history, to teach someone to save money would have been sound advice. Fast forward to 2018. What interest do you earn on your money today? If you have it in a regular savings account, what is the average interest rate on a regular savings account in 2018? For the most part, it's less than 1%. So if inflation historically has grown at the rate of 2% for the last 100 years, and you're earning less than 1% saving your money in a bank, then the statement becomes clearly true that savers are losers. So as long as they're 0.3%. So savers are losers. That means saving your money in a bank or lose. I want to hip you guys to the game, man. A lot of you guys may have heard what the banker's secret is, and you may have heard it said that the banker's secret is something called the rule of 72. Basically, you take the interest rate you're earning on your money, you divide that into 72, and it will tell you how long it takes your money to double. And a lot of people really consider that the banker's secret. But for those who know a little bit more and go a step further, the banker's secret is really this: banks ain't got no money, y'all. Banks get all their money from two places. They either buy it from the Federal Reserve or they buy it from you. I'm gonna run that back because y'all ain't following me. Y'all ain't, come on, man, talk to me. Banks get their money from two places. They either buy it from the Federal Reserve or they buy it from you. Now, if the Federal Reserve sells the bank a bank note at a 2% interest, does it make sense for them to buy money from the Federal Reserve at 2% when they can buy it from you for less than 1%? Come on, man, we're going to go in today. Does it make sense? You're an entrepreneur, you're thinking like a business person. Hey, what I do as a banking institution, I buy and sell debt. That's what I do. That's what banks do. They buy and sell debt. So if I have the opportunity to buy some debt notes, and one entity is going to charge me 2% for that debt, and I can know of another source where I can buy those same debt notes for less than 1%, where would you buy the money from? You'd buy it from you too, right? Even if that means I have to give you a toaster or a water bottle or a t-shirt. See, we've got to understand how this game is really played, man. Whenever you hear the word interest, there's a loan involved. So when you put your money in a savings account, they give you less than 1% interest. There's a loan involved. So you have to ask yourself who's borrowing and who's lending. You guys follow me? Every time you hear the word interest, there's a loan involved. Hey, Cortez, come down to Bank of America and open up a savings account with us. Our savings accounts will earn you. Hey, what's up, Valerie? Our savings accounts will earn you 0.5% interest. Wait a minute. Now, you just told me that there's interest. So I know because of my financial education that when I hear the word interest, there's a loan involved. So you're telling me that you want to borrow my money and all you're willing to pay me is 0.5% interest on my money. Thanks, but no thanks. We have been hoodwinked and bamboozled and don't understand what banks are created for. Banks are not created for you to keep your money safe. That is the facade. Banks are created to get a hold of your money because the only way they can make money is from your money. The only way banks can make money is from your money. So they create all of this stuff in these big old buildings and all of this, these big old vaults. You guys go into the bank and you see these vaults. Come on, man. You know most money is digital. Ain't nothing in them vaults, man. But that's a part of the illusion to keep you in the thought process that I'm here. I'm putting my money in the banks so that they're keeping my money safe. It's insured by FDIC, right? That's all game, man. That's all game. So if you want to have your money growing faster than the pace of inflation, you need to learn how to put your money in places that the banks are going to put your money. See, when you put your money into the bank, I know we're thinking that, hey, if I put my money into the bank, they're going to take my money and they're going to lend it to somebody else, and then they're going to collect interest on that money, and that's how they make money. No, when you put your money into the bank, they're going to take your money and put it into the investment banks, and they're going to earn interest on your money. They promise you 0.3%, and you agreed. They take your money to Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, Vanguard, one of these places. They're going to earn 18% on your money. They're going to give you the 0.3% that they promised you, and then they're going to make money off the profits forever. Well, guess what? If you wanted to tie your money up, you can put your money in those places yourself. You can go directly to Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, Prudential, all of these investment houses. You can go directly to them yourself. Problem is, what's up, Tara? Paper girl in the building. Well, the problem is you can't go to those places with $100 like you can the bank on the corner. You can't go to those places with $500 like you can your credit union and buy a CD. You got to have your money right to go sit down and talk to them. You got to understand terminology. You got to understand perspective in order to make this whole thing work. So banks are buying your money because they can buy it from you cheaper than they can buy it from the Feds. So when they buy it from you, then they take it and they put it into those investment houses. They get the interest. In other words, they get the profits. Then they can turn around and loan out those profits. See, we're struggling because we don't understand financial knowledge, right? We don't understand how this works, right? Not 250K. You can get in and deal with a lot of them with about 2 or 3,000. 2,500 is the lowest I've seen for most of them. But you can open an account with 2,500, and then you can do $100 a month if you want to, but you get greater returns, right? You get greater returns. Now, I can't tell you where to invest your money because I'm not licensed to do that. But if you want to go over to T. Rowe Price, for instance, you go and look at their mutual funds and you go check the historical performance. Yeah. Didn't I speak to you too, Valerie? Hey, Valerie. I think you did speak, and I think I spoke back. If not, hey, Valerie. Uh, you go and check the historical performance, and you will see that they got funds out there that's been performing at 14, 15% for 30, 40 years. You just didn't know about it, right? So you can literally transform your finances if you want to tie your money up in that way. If you want to invest for long-term growth, you need to start learning that stuff, man. You ain't making no money on your money in the bank. You're losing. Savers or losers. Now, I will tell you this. If you ain't got your cash flow all the way up, you don't need to be parking no money over there either. Right? Derek said, I didn't even know about those banks. If you don't have your cash flow right, you shouldn't even be parking money for long-term investments. You should be investing in something that's going to increase and improve your cash flow almost immediately. See, even though I know I can get 20% return on some of those investments over there, all of my money goes into my own private equity business right now, because it's in my private equity business that I can create cash flow. Now, there's nothing wrong with investing for equity. I'm not in that position to invest for equity. I need cash flow. So all of my money goes into a situation that I can flip it and create more cash flow. That's my own private businesses. Once my private businesses start spitting out enough cash flow that doubles my life's earning, or not my life's earning, but my monthly expenses, then I can peel something off and invest for equity. But right now, I need cash flow. So I'm trying to build my businesses up to 20, 30, $40,000 per month. Once I build it to that level, then I can take 10 grand a month and invest for equity, invest for growth, right? Invest long term. But to me, the name of the game for you, especially if you're young, should be cash flow, man. Get your cash flow up. Once your cash flow is up and your expenses are down, now you can peel something off in terms of taking something from that excess cash flow. Then you can start investing for equity, long term growth, right? I just think everybody should be focusing on what things that you can do more cash flow. What can you sell? What service can you offer? What can you do to create income? And not necessarily save, because when you're saving for long term, you're tying up your capital. No, I ain't got no money to be tying up right now. All of my money, I need to be flipping it, right? So if you're interested in learning how to create cash flow, then you got to think about joining the Black Wealth Movement, man. We will teach you how to get a $200 to $600 pay raise on your job. Take that pay raise to pay off your debt, because that's going to create more cash flow. Use our credit program to fix your credit, because that too can create cash flow. How can credit create cash flow? Well, if you got a car loan and when you got that car initially, your credit was bad, well, good credit will allow you to refinance that car loan. Say you're paying $400 for a car loan now because your credit was bad. Refinance that car loan, get it down to $250. You've just created $150 in cash flow. Now, what I advise you to do is continue to use that $150. You are already paying a $400 car note. Keep paying a $400 car note. $250 goes towards the principal. $250 goes to the regular note. Another $150 goes directly towards the principal. And you pay the car note off faster. So in 2 years instead of 5 years, you now just freed up another $400 per month in cash flow. So good credit can improve cash flow. Paying off debt improves cash flow. Minimize expenses improves cash flow. Buying and selling wholesale improves cash flow. Selling products and services improves cash flow. So many people are afraid of sales, man. It ain't funny. It's the only way things move here. That's how our economy works. Every second of every minute of every hour of every day, something is being bought and sold. The only question I have is who's getting the commission and how can I get some? right? Got to overcome your fear of selling and find out what you're good at, what kind of marketable skills that you have that people are already paying for. I'll give you an example. As a youth basketball coach and trainer, I volunteered to coach and train kids. While at the same time I was volunteering to coach and train kids, I was paying other people to train my kids. And not all of them was half as good as me as a coach and trainer. But I was paying up. So I was doing activities for free that I and other people were paying for. So take inventory of your gifts and talents and say, wait a minute, what can I do very well that I know for a fact other people have already demonstrated the means to pay for and the willingness to pay for, and put a price tag on what you do and get out there and start creating some flipping cash flow, because it's the cash flow that's going to transform your life, especially when you learn what to do with the cash flow, right? So if you've been taught to save money, I'm not saying I can't, I speak easy on that because a lot of times we've been taught these things by people that we trust, people that we respect, and we don't want to go against what someone we respect and love has taught us, even if it's not the best information, even if the information is a little outdated. Yeah, grandma can say save your money because when she saved her money, she got a better interest rate. Me saving my money is not growing faster than the rate of inflation, then it's not smart for me to be trying to save money. I could invest my money to work and grow faster than the rate of inflation, but saving is, you're a loser if you save. You're losing money, right? You're losing money. So, any questions on that, man? You got to get this, man. Your bank is soliciting you in the name of giving you a safe, secure place to keep your money, to giving you access to e-commerce by giving you a debit card, and now you're giving them your money and they're flipping it. And while your money is sitting there making no money for you, it's making tons of money for them. You could be flipping that money yourself if you start to study financial literacy, understand some things about money and capitalism and how this whole system works, man. Start you a business. A business will allow you to minimize your taxes. Your number one expense is your taxes, y'all. I've been screaming this for the last 3 years. Your number one expense is taxes, and the only way you can legally minimize and lower those taxes if you start a business. So you can start writing some of the things off that you're paying for every day. I'm streaming this from my cell phone. 85% of my cell phone bill is a tax write-off every single month. Why? Because I use my phone primarily for business. I'm on my Wi-Fi connection in my house. 85% of my internet that I use is for business, so I get to write off 85% of my internet bill. 15% is used, my kids use it for homework. I stream TV, so 15% of it is used for personal use. 85% is used for business. I put miles on my car to go take care of business, so those miles are tax write-offs for me, guys. You can save $12,000 to $15,000 per year on average by starting a business. A lot of people say, Cortez, I don't have the money to start a business, because you're thinking about starting Walmart tomorrow. No, you don't start Walmart as it exists today. You start Walmart as it existed 50 years ago, right? You don't start Apple as it exists today. You start Apple as it existed 50 years ago inside Steve Jobs' garage. Start a business from your home. Now some of the bills that you have in your home become a tax write-off when you understand the game, man. The only way saving is not losing is tax savings. Because if you're saving money that otherwise will be going to Uncle Sam, that frees up cash flow that you can use to flip and grow your business, or you can use to get out of debt, or you can use to invest if you're investing for equity. Right? There's nothing wrong with investing for equity. At 40 years old, I'm on a quest to become a billionaire. I can't invest for equity right now. I need to invest for cash flow. And the way that I invest for cash flow is putting money into my own business to where I can create and generate more cash flow. that make sense? Right? So do me a huge favor, guys. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the share button. People need to hear these truths about money so they can start thinking differently about money. It's not until you think differently about money will you behave differently about money. And that's all I try to do, man. I try to get you to think differently about your money so that you can do some different actions, so you can behave differently with your money. And when you behave differently with your money, of course, you get a different outcome. So that's it for midday conversation today, man. Savers or losers, not in the sense that you're a loser, you're a low life. You're just losing money, man, because the way the system is set up and it's stacked against you, and nobody ever told you how the banking system works. You're loaning them your money at less than 1% interest. If they came to you straight up without all the shenanigans and said, hey, Keith Jones, I need to borrow 10 grand. Can you loan me 10 grand? And then I turn around and give you back 0.5% return on that. Keith is going to say, man, you crazy. I don't know who you think I am, but it don't go down like that. Right? Because if we're straight up and they talk to us in plain English, then it's clear. But they don't talk to us in plain English. This is why you got to understand the language of money. This is not plain English. They say, let me keep your money safe. They don't say, let me borrow that 10 grand that you got sitting around doing nothing. Because if they said, let me borrow it, you're going to say, well, I want 8%, 9%, 10% on my money. The same way when I borrow money from you, you want 9, 10%, 18%, 29%. So I want the same. That's how the game is played. Smoke and mirrors, man. You got to see through it. You got to understand this for yourself, though. The Black Wealth Movement, right? Systematically being denied wealth. Absolutely. Uh, and Tony, I would say we got to stop going. We got to stop going to that system to get the wealth in the first place, right? I got but 2 times to ask you for something and you don't give it to me, and I'm gonna go get it myself. Right? See, we've been knocking on the door for the last 100 years, trying to get them to give us the money that we need to liberate ourselves. Come on, man. Let's keep it all the way 100. When has it ever been possible for you to go get what you need from your enemy to liberate yourself from said enemy? You're talking about going to the people who are systematically oppressing us and getting the resources we need to get their foot off our throat. Where they do that at, man? We way more smart than that. We way more. Come on, where they do that at? So we've got to build for ourselves, man. And it starts with understanding the language of money, capitalism, taxes, all of these things. It's critically important that we understand this stuff. That's why you're gonna see your man every single morning, Monday through Friday, talking money in the morning live. If you have not already, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, Financial Health Mentor. Wise jailer never gives a prisoner the key. Man, you better tell him, Steve. You better tell him. And that's what we're asking. Without realizing it, that's what we're. So think about it. Dr. Umar said it best. He said, we can go get loans for school. We can go get loans for cars. We can go get loans for houses. We can go get loans for furniture. We can go get loans for even hair weaves. You can go finance hair weaves, but you can't get a loan for a business. Why? Because none of that other stuff will liberate you. Entrepreneurship is liberating. So you can't get loans for business. You can get loans for all that other stuff. You can get finances for all that other stuff. But the thing that you need for liberation, we can't give you no loan for that. You don't qualify. I qualify for a $300,000 house loan, but I don't qualify for a $10,000 business loan. Right? You got to understand, man. This is the days and the times that we're living in. But the Black Wealth Movement, we got a plan, y'all. It's $35 a month to join. $35 to start, $35 per month. We give you the game plan, man, on how to transform your life. Yeah, gotta stop falling for the okie doke, man. That you're so right, Tony. You're so right, man. It's we gotta stop it, man. We gotta stop it. So that's the name of the game, man. Stop putting your money in the banks. I'm not saying don't put your money in the bank. If you're putting your money in the bank so you can have access to commerce via debit cards and stuff, money that you, but don't put your money in the bank thinking you're investing, thinking that money is going to grow, right? What does the rule of 72 say? I divide the interest rate that I'm getting into 72. It will take me tell me how long it takes my money to double. If I'm getting less than 1% on my money, that means it will take my money more than 72 years to double. If I'm getting less than 1% on my money, and I got 10,000 in a savings account, less than 1%, it's going to take over 72 years for that money to become $20,000. And then what you have to factor in is the cost of living doubles every 18 to 24 years. So even when that money doubles in 72 years, the cost of living has doubled 4 times. So my 20,000 is worth like 5,000 by the time it doubles. Just got to understand the game, man. And that's what I want to help you do. So you can join my team, $35 to start, $35 per month. We put you in your own financial education business where you get access to all of these tools. You get access to this type of education. You get the tools, the resources that you need to start building wealth from scratch. And we're going to run this thing, man. I'm going to help you the best I can build wealth, right? I ain't going to help you get rich, but I'm going to help you build wealth. There's a difference, right? And it starts with managing the cash flow that you currently have right now, managing that a little bit differently, managing that a little bit better. And then you grow the cash flow that you have coming in. And then we teach you how to grow that cash flow long term. So I'm your boy H Cortez. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button. Please get this message out. Until I talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve it. Each